You don't want it?
No, that's not what I said. I feel bad. Just messing around.
Okay. So, last time we met, we were discussing 7.1. Yes. Oh, Ataya's. Ataya's being funny this morning. Okay. Forms of percents. We're dealing with 100. Put everything, fraction, ratio. 75%, turn to a fraction, put it over 100, lowest terms. And then to get to a decimal, we divide. Horse goes on the outside, cowboy on the inside, and there's your decimal. Convert percent to fraction. Percent to fraction. You're going to put it over 100, just like we did right here, and then reduce. 88% is 88 over 100. We put it in lowest terms. If, this is where it's different from 6th grade, if it's a mixed number percent, you put this little guy right here into a decimal form, right there, and then change, put it over, like, what place is this? Oh, it's in the thousands place. Put it over 1,000. In fact, if it was like 8%, what place is that? Nope. Tenths. So you'd put it over 10 and then reduce. Okay, y'all just staring at it. All right, change an improper fraction. Oh no, change to an improper fraction. Okay, so first you can change this to a decimal, like this. What place is the 5? Oh yeah, it's 1,000. There you go. Or you can change to an improper fraction. 13 times 3 plus 1, 40 over 3, put it over 100. 40 over 3 divided by 100 over 1. Cancellation, multiply across, there you go. Okay. Convert, I'm going over the notes we've had. Convert percent to a decimal. Blah, 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 blah. Remember there's all, oh, you can divide by 100, or you can multiply by, no. You move the decimal 2 places to the left. 2 places, because we're dealing with 100, and there's 2 zeros. 8%, move it 2 places, throw in that 0.08. 50%, put in your imaginary decimal, 2 places to the left, 0.5. If it's 37.6, move it 2 places, 0.376. If it's 376%, put in the little imaginary decimal, move it 2 places, 3.76. Yeah?
On my test, there was like a problem, and I had to put 3 decimal places behind the decimal, and then I put a 0 at the end, and I counted that as one of the decimal places, and I got it wrong.
On your test? Okay, do you still have your test?
Yes.
Okay, so after I teach this, why don't you get it out and you and I can talk about it? Because, I mean, seriously, we'll talk about it. If I made a mistake, I'll definitely change it. If it's something that you don't understand why you got it wrong, we definitely need to talk. Because you got a 6-week exam coming up. So we can talk about that. All right, so converting a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. If there is no decimal, you put an imaginary 1 at the end. If there already is a decimal, you still got to get rid of... my poor 6th graders, and I think y'all probably struggle with this too. When it says convert a percent to a decimal, they'll see that this is already a decimal, and they'll say, but it's already a decimal. All I need to do is take away this. No, you still have to move it, take it out of percent. That is confusing. All right, convert decimal to a percent. This time we're moving it 2 places to the right. So if it's 2.4, you're moving it 2 places to the right, sticking your 0. So the biggest challenge y'all are going to have is not remembering that you move it 2 places, but whether it's left or right. And practice is the only way to get to there. Okay. Oh, and that's where we stopped. Okay, so we stopped at convert decimal to a percent. Now we're going to convert Here we go. Convert fraction to percent. And remember, you need to have good notes because, my gosh, we had a whole weekend in between. Every teacher on this planet would hate to do that to y'all. It is what it is. And what? You can forget things. So you want good notes so that you can refer back to these. Also, if you have homework and you take home homework, you probably should take home your notes too. I have students that always take home their book and stuff, but never their notes. But you have the video you can rewatch too. I had a 6th grader tell me that. Left my notes at school. I can't remember what to do. Watch the video. Pay $50 a year for this. All right. Example. Well, if we're converting a fraction to a percent, we've done. We haven't done anything. Okay. Fraction to percent. Let's say I have 4/5. Okay, the first thing you do is you have to convert it to a decimal. So, horse goes on the outside, cowboy on the inside. Instead of writing a bunch of words, I'm just going to do a bunch of examples. So to get from a fraction to a percent, we got to go from fraction to decimal to percent. There's that little bridge there. Okay, so Kelly, can 5 go into 4?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
So we're going to put a decimal there on top and bottom and add a 0. How many times can 5 go into 40?
8 times.
Perfecto. Okay, so now we have our decimal. Now we have to change to percent. Joseph, how do I change a decimal to a percent?
You move it to the right 2 times.
That's right. We're going to move the decimal to the right 2 times. It went shoot right over this 8 and then shoot right over this blank space. What do I put in this shoot? I tell you, a 0. So then I have 80%.
That's cool.
So to go from a fraction to a percent, here's my fraction, change it to a decimal, and then to a percent. Got it? Any question? Yes, ma'am?
How did we? Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I forgot we did the decimal.
No. That's what I'm saying. Sit back after I write this stuff down. Take it all in.
Okay.
I'm telling you, as a private investigator, that's all I do. That is all I do. Well, I still dabble in it on the weekends sometimes. Okay. Oh, you'd be surprised. Okay, that's why I'm behind on Christmas shopping. Okay. There's another trick. Look at this.
Usually we do 2 tricks. I get mixed up and accidentally combine them sometimes.
Oh, don't do that. All right, here's another trick. Sometimes the fraction has a denominator that can go into 100 evenly. Remember, with percent, we're dealing with 100, right? Can 5 go evenly into 100?
Yes.
How many times? Italia? So if 5 times 20 is 100, 4 times 20 is what? Anyone?
80.
And then 80 over 100 is 80%.
I still like the other one.
I do too.
Okay, it's up to you, but these are 2 different ways of getting it. Now, here's the thing. This way can be rather fast. But does it work every time? No. because you could have a denominator that does not go evenly into 100. So if you're on your quiz or test or whatever, and you're like, okay, I need to change it to a, percent. Oh yeah, the denominator can go evenly into 100. Boom, boom, you're done. But also, if you're done, like a lot of you did this last time for your test, reworked and reworked and reworked those problems, and it paid out. Okay, so you could do it this way, and then if you had time, go back and do it this way to see if you get the same answer. Or if you're like, man, I just like this right here. I'm just going to divide and then change. It's up to you. The option is yours. But this only works if denominator goes into 100 evenly. Okay, because that's kind of important.
Tatiana, do you want another pen for right hand so it's color coded? No, it's okay. Thank you though.
You're so sweet. It's the Christmas spirit. Okay.
I noticed because she didn't put down a pen, so.
That's okay.
I have a pen.
All right, here we go. Open up your books.
That's all.
Yeah, man. Page 268. 268.
Oh, come on. That was the page one.
Huh? Oh no. Okay, let's see something real quick.
Today's a good day.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. So we're going to start with number 2. And Kelly wants to go first. Write each percent as a fraction. Okay, so number 2 is 45%. Notice it says as a fraction. Does it say in lowest terms?
No.
But do we always
Yes.
put it in lowest terms? Yes, you do. Girl.
No, we don't.
All right, here we go. So Kelly, how do I put this into a fraction?
So you put 45 into 45 over 100.
Okay, because really, what place is that 5 in? Hundreds, right? Okay, so 45 over 100. Now what do?
Then you divide it by 5 because I don't know.
That's okay. 5 absolutely goes in there. Tanner, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Wouldn't that be tenths?
Nope.
No.
Why would it be hundreds?
Well,
Tenths? Hundreds.
okay, so if you look at it,
Kind of like
tenths, hundreds, thousandths,
10,000.
10,000ths. But don't worry about that. 45% goes over 100. Just remember percent over 100. Okay.
9 over 20.
9 over 20. Very good.
I literally had to look back afterwards.
That's okay.
Good job.
Any questions on how to change a percent to a fraction? You have a question?
No, I don't.
Tanner, you have a question?
Would there's a time change it? What if neither of them have something that can go into each of them equally?
Then it's in lowest terms.
Okay.
Let's do one more. 18%. Tanner, how about you do this one?
Okay. Good luck, Tanner. Thank you.
So 18, what do we do with this?
18 over 100.
Yep. And what number can go into both?
2.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 4. But
Let's start with 2, just because that's safe, right?
Mhm.
And so what do you get?
50. 9 over 50.
And that is in lowest terms, because the only number that can go into 9 is 9 or 3, and neither can go into 50. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, 8. This time we're doing write each percent as a decimal. 452%. Talia, you want to do this one? Okay. Talk me through it. Don't just yell out the answer. Talk me through it. Teach the class.
So you have to pretend that there's a decimal in front of 4.
Right here.
Well, just to help, and then you go over 2 spaces to the right. Well, or you would just look at what place the 2 is in, which would be the thousands. Or the.
You mean make this easier on you?
Can't we just put the decimal on?
Put the decimal right here. When you change it from percent, you put it right here, imaginary decimal here, and then move it over 2 places to the left. So you get
That's confusing.
4.52.
It's been a long week.
It has.
Can I go back to
Don't worry.
No, you cannot go back to sleep.
Oh,
Could you just rhyme?
Let's do another.
I thought you wanted to just put it in fraction.
No decimal.
That's why I was confused. Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm going to have Atalia redeem herself. 1.7%. We got to take it out of percent and into decimal form.
Okay. So you just move the decimal 2 places to the left.
That's right. We don't have to put a new one in there because we already got one. And she's right. Jupe, jupe, right here. And what do I put in this jupe? So then what's my answer, Taya?
0.017.
Perfect.
Or 17,000.
There you
I
go.
like the sound effects you do.
Like that?
Yes. Let's do one more.
We can all do this one.
137%. Joseph, where does how do we change this?
Put the decimal after the 7
At the very end.
and move it over twice.
Choop, choop. So what's the answer?
1.37%.
No.
Or decimal.
J-
No. I'm so
1.37 because we're taking out percent.
Is this all we're doing today?
tired. Was that more?
Any questions on that? Be careful. Okay? Does everyone have it down?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's move on to the next section, 14.
Wow.
Okay, this time write a fraction as a percent. That is what we just did today. You can either divide
Oh, sorry.
or see the denominator can go into 100 evenly. But look at 14. It's a mixed number. So there's multiple ways to do this.
Can I try?
Hold on. We can either change this to an improper fraction, or we can change the 3/5 to a decimal. There's all kinds of things we can do. Talia, you want to do this one? Okay.
So you would multiply 5 by 2.
She's going to do improper. Okay, 5 by 2.
Plus 3.
Okay, what do you get?
13.
Okay. This is how I would have done it too.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah. We're doing it. We're all getting to what again?
8%. So you have to change it to a decimal first.
So you would divide 313 by 5.
All right.
So 5 can't go into 1, but it can go into 13 2 times, which equals 10. And then you have 3 left, and you still have a remainder, so you have to add a 0 to the.
How do I add a 0?
You put a decimal on top, yeah, and then you add a 0 and pull it down, and 5 goes into 30 6 times,
Perfect.
which is 0.
So now I have 2.6. Am I done?
What are
Italia
we making it into again? I forgot.
to a percent.
So now you take the decimal and you move it to the right 2 times.
Would we always move it to the right?
If you're changing it from a decimal to a percent.
Okay.
If you're going from, like, look right here, we went from a percent to a decimal, so we moved it to the left.
Okay, because I keep thinking that we're turning it into a decimal.
But here, we're turning it, it's already in a decimal, we're turning it to a percent, so we go right. And I put a little 0 where that one swoosh is. So what's my answer?
260%.
Perfect. And boys and girls, this is exactly how I would have solved this. There's multiple ways of doing it, and I don't want to show you all the other ways because it is confusing. This one is by far the easiest. Okay? Very good. So we went from a fraction, then we changed to a decimal, then we changed to a percent. So when you're going from fraction to percent, there's a few steps. Very, very, very good. There's another way just to show you. Is what I did. Okay. I won't show you. I
get confused.
Yeah.
You
Now this is that we'll go with this. This is good. I like this.
Okay.
Okay. 3. Yeah, Italia's the spokesperson for everyone. No,
Yes.
do not confuse us. Okay, let's do this one. Joseph, you want to do this?
Sure.
All right, so we're changing it to a percent.
Let's see.
Go ahead, Joseph.
So I would do it like where you put it over 100.
What do you mean?
So you would divide 3 by 50.
Oh, okay. So you're dividing these? Okay, so 3 divided by 50.
I think I was going to have one.
Do what?
Oh, I get it now.
Is this what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So can 50 go into 3?
No.
So I put a decimal and a 0. Can 50 go into 30?
Yes.
What?
50 can go into 50. Oh, I thought you said 15.
Can 50 go into 30?
No.
So I put a 0, add another 0. Can 50 go into 300?
Yes.
How many times?
How many times does 5 go into 30? 6.
So 6 times 50 is 300. All right, so Joseph, now it's in decimal. What do I need to do to turn it into percent?
You need to move it over to the right.
2 places. So what's my answer?
So 60%.
Look up here. We moved it 2 places to the right.
6%.
There you go. Be careful.
I can't do 0, 6. Where is that? Not?
Okay, if you want to do this, whoops. I mean, that's the same thing.
How do you make your percentage so nice and neat?
I
I do
don't
that
know.
and it looks sloppy.
I think I know what you're supposed to talking about with like putting it over 100.
Uh,
Do you mean like the cereal? When did
You had said 3 over. You had said put it over 100.
So did
I
you,
didn't want to do that.
Okay.
but if we were to, would it be like how many times like 100 0 like equals 100?
How many times can 50 go into 100?
Twice. That's what I meant.
Twice.
And
50 times 2 is 100.
Yeah,
3 times 2 is 6.
that's what I meant.
6%.
And that makes it a lot easier.
But does it always work?
No.
Okay.
But that's what
That's
it's
why I don't do that.
I thought.
I think that's where he's going.
So,
All right.
so the numerator would always be in the house.
Yes, that's the cowboy.
Cowboy goes into house.
Because I saw a video where the horse was inside the
I
house.
know, we talked about that. Horse should never be in the
Oh,
house.
it wasn't a math video.
Maybe
Right. It was just someone put a horse in a
But
house.
he was writing.
That was insane.
I mean.
I don't even let my bearded dragon run around the house.
My
that
turtle was
much.
allowed to run around the house.
I mean, I've cleaned up so much poo from that guy. I can imagine a horse.
That's
We have a tortoise little
Okay.
sanctuary.
20. We gotta keep moving.
Can I do that?
Shh. Write a decimal as a percent. So I have 0.075. Tanner, this is a decimal. We want to do it as a percent. It's similar to what we did up here. So how do I turn this into a percent?
Move it over 2 spaces to the right.
1, 2. So what's my answer?
7.5%.
Perfect.
Technically, couldn't you do 0.07?
If you wanted to do this because you're scared or you just don't want to mess up, that's fine. These zeros here, or if you were to do zeros over there, it does not change the value. Zeros in front, zeros behind does not change. Well, that doesn't make any
So
sense.
for fun, on our test, can we just write a million zeros?
No, don't for fun. Come on now.
Can I do it?
As long as I wouldn't play around too much, because if you actually put the 0 in the wrong spot, it's, All right, Kelly, 22. 0.005. Change that to a percent.
52%.
Yep.
Move the decimal 2 times to the right.
1, 2. So what is my answer?
0, 0, 0.5. And then the decimal sign.
The decimal
Sorry.
sign.
The percentage, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well,
All right, if you want to add all those zeros, you can. Or you can do it like this.
I just like being safe and so.
Or if you want to do it like this, all of those count is the same thing.
Or you could put 0.50.
yeah.
All right,
Well, it's,
let's do 26.
Can I do it?
Sure, 26. Write each fraction as a decimal and percent. I have 7.5. So as a decimal and percent.
So I'm gonna stick with the improper fraction thing.
Okay.
So it would be 15 over 2 because 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15 over 2. And then now you put it as a percent or a decimal, sorry.
Uh-huh.
So you would divide 15 by 2.
2 goes into 15 how many times?
7 equals 14. So you with 1, and so you put 0, so you have to put a decimal. 0, and bring it down. And then 2 goes into 10 5 times.
Perfect. So there's my decimal answer. What is my percent answer?
So you would have to move it, the decimal, to the right 2 times.
1, 2. And put in a 0, so what is your percent?
700.
Didn't we already do this problem?
There you go. So for this one, you have to have 2 answers.
Okay.
Any questions? All right, I think y'all are ready. Okay, so y'all are going to do page 268, numbers 1 through, let's see.
Please make it easy.
She's counting and she's already over
29, 15 problems.
Okay, it's not that
Due
bad.
Tuesday. Okay,
How many more days till Christmas?
9.5.
9
I mean, till Christmas or Christmas break?
till Christmas break.
Christmas break is 9.5.